Let us call this meeting to order. First, I want to, I guess we should take attendance first. And I, I can, in case absent, I can call the roll if that's appropriate. I guess
Sure.
we don't have to designate. Okay. And Kelly, if you can just record for me, please. Thank you so much. Um, um, Lynn Linehan,
Here.
Jeffrey Stone,
Here.
Kate Masiello is excused. Todd Hobler,
Here.
Carrie Phillips, absent. Susan Swartz,
Here.
Travis Poling,
Here.
and myself, Denise Wilson, is here. We have a quorum. Before we go any further, I just would like to acknowledge Kate Masiello and send her our condolences on the passing of her mother. These are indeed, just hard times. So we want to send her light, love, and our prayers to Kate and her family at this time. I also want to just inform you guys that Bill and I will have to jump off of our meeting early at about, 9, probably 9:25. At that time, our Vice Chair, Jeffrey Stone, will take over the meeting and continue to go through our agenda. Once we are done, we will come back to the meeting to handle business of the board. And there will also be an executive session to discuss personnel matters. Just one second, I'm sorry. My computer is having its own personality today. So, to start this meeting off, on December 4th, we held our first committee of the whole meeting, and I think it went very well. The committee of the whole is where we combine the subcommittees of the board to discuss matters that will now be presented for action at this board meeting. It is in hopes that all questions and concerns were addressed either at that committee of the whole meeting or since then, but before now. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, you still can speak at this time during the board meeting, but we may go through rather quickly. So for all of those who were prepared for a 4-hour meeting, I hate to disappoint you today because you will not get that. You will also notice on our agenda that the order of the agenda has changed slightly. We have added a section also for our union representation to present and highlight activities of their members. We will lift the student trustee report and the college senate report earlier on in the agenda from now on, and the interim president report will be moved to the end of the meeting. Does everyone see that? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I am just having a great time today with my technology. Okay, so for board approval, you have the consent agenda before you. It is the board minutes, November 19th, 2020. The committee of the whole minutes from December 4th, 2020. Kelly, and thank you for such a quick turnaround on that. We appreciate that. And also PTEC and B-Solar agreements, the executive summary. And we just have Carrie Phillips, Trustee Carrie Phillips just joined us. Welcome. So with that being said, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
And is there a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any any against it? No? Okay, great. Oh, jeez. So next we have for board's information. I'm not going to go through each of these because we discussed these throughout the committee of the whole, but I do want to highlight the three presentations that we had at the committee of the whole. The JMZ Academic and Facilities Master Plan, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion presentation to the board, and the Workday Implementation presentation to the board. I know that Interim President Reuter will dive deeper into the budget information and things of that sort, so I won't spend time on that during this report. But I guess what I'll do is I'll give it to you, Bill, for you to kind of highlight the JMZ, the three presentations that we had. Is that okay?
Certainly.
Okay.
As the Madam Chairwoman indicated, the three presentations are included. They were not part of the original Committee of the Whole agenda, so we wanted to include the actual presentation for the board information. The Facility Master Plan was sort of an opportunity for the college to restart the process. As you recall, JMZ was on campus, met with a working group back in December of almost a full year ago, maybe even a year ago, but December of 19. And at that time presented some sort of a big vision for the college, the future of SUNY Erie, and included a lot of significant projects. And then in January, there was an internal committee of the college that met, and the plan was to present to the board come March of 2020, and we all know what happened in March of 2020, so that never took place. JMZ had an existing contract that still, I think, had about $70,000 to spend down, and they had an extension of their contract through September 30th, but no work was done from that March period until September 30th. So I thought it would be wise to reconnect. I know there's a lot of questions being asked in the community, within the college, external, at the county legislature, county executive, sort of about the future of ECC. What are we doing? So I brought JMZ back to the table just to sort of give us a picture of what has taken place and discuss some future concepts. And I would suggest that is a discussion that needs to continue, not just at the board level, but with all our partners, our internal partners, our college senate, our academic leadership, our unions, but also external, that's the county executive, county legislature, because everyone is vested in our community. So we have to figure out what the next step is. We'll put together some deliverables for the board to consider. I have, over the last couple of days, reached out to SUNY because the college actually funded that entire $475,000 contract as an operating expense. I've reached out to SUNY to see if we can sort of call that a capital project, and to date they have been receptive to that. So that would mean that that expenditure that came out of operating funds would actually come out of capital, which is a good thing for our operating since we have some financial struggles. So that is a work in progress. I have forwarded a copy of the presentation per the chairwoman's request to the county executive. I think the next step is really to have a very high level discussion with the county and the college about how to go about the future look at SUNY Erie. I know the county executive had a C4 group that was looking at a lot of different activities. That may be the group that's brought back to the table, begin discussions on the future of ECC. I know when I first went back to the legislature, they had some pause on funding of capital, especially at South Campus, because James E. talked about downsizing and/or selling South, and the legislature is questioning why they should invest funds in South. So that discussion's got to take place, and all partners, all parties have to be at the table. I have also reached out to the Oshai Foundation about the feasibility of being involved in facilitating a study of this nature, and those conversations continue to date. So that's really James Z. The diversity, equity, and inclusion, the presentation that was mainly done by Tracy Archie and Tracy Cleveland really talked about the existing plan and ways that what we're doing right now to sort of refresh that plan, update it, and also Tracy Archie talked about some benchmarks to include in the plan, as well as dashboards, and it was a very robust discussion. Tracy Archie, I'm not sure if you want to mention anything specifically. Not to put you on the spot.
No, nothing specifically. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I apologize, I'm having some technical difficulties. My video keeps going in and out, so. But no questions, and I'm happy to receive any if you have any.
And then the last item that was presented, Mina, our CIO, presented Workday Implementation. Mina's last day at SUNY Erie, as we previously announced, was Tuesday. And on the video is Scott Ermer, who is interim CIO in Mina's place until we figure out if we want to do a search for a permanent CIO. But Scott has graciously agreed to step up and assume that role. And he'll be giving future Workday reports as part of the Committee of the Whole. But I believe everything is in place. There's been certain implementations that are taking place almost as we speak. And knock wood, so far so good. Scott is trying to manage with many other staff at the college the Workday implementation. This is the critical year. This is year 4 of the 4-year implementation. And hopefully, starting in year 5, we can be pretty much free of our existing colleague system, and we can start accruing some savings in year 5 from getting rid of the colleague system. So it's an exciting time, and Scott will give a report of Workday implementation as part of the Committee of Whole meetings moving forward.
Thank you so much, Bill, and thank you everyone who presented and gave us updates during that session. Just regarding the JMZ, in January of 2020, we will convene our first meeting of key stakeholders and beginning this discussion. As Bill said, it is important that we keep this high on the priority list as we are going through many transitions and needing to make necessary changes within the college, and we do not want this to fall to the wayside. And Bill, thank you again for your works with the state, and hopefully they will approve this as being a capital project.
Thank you.
So the items that were presented was just for board information only. We do not have to take any action on those items. For the Board of Trustees items received outside the Committee of the Whole, there is one item for board approval, which is the fees authorized to be paid by SUNY by SUNY Erie for services. And attached was in the agenda was the executive summary and backup. And is there any questions regarding this item? Okay, so then I would like to ask for a motion to approve the fees authorized to be made by SUNY Erie for services.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed? That's the word I was looking for previously. Okay, what time is it? in the interest of time, before I will even begin the next session potential motion, I would like to turn over the meeting to Jeffrey Stone to carry out from this point forward. I don't want it to seem rushed at all, and I don't want to cause any interruptions, if that's okay.
Thank you, Chairwoman Wilson. Good morning. Happy holidays to all, and I hope you enjoy it as best you can under these unusual circumstances this year. But we'll carry on here, and Denise, whenever you need to jump out to the legislature, go right ahead and do that. Just note it for the minutes when you do leave, please. So we have some informational items here, and Bill, I'll see whether you want to talk about any of these in particular. I certainly think we ought to talk about the dashboard items. The minutes are pretty straightforward. I'm looking on our agenda items 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're various committee minutes. I looked through them all, especially the budget and audit, and was fine with those, Kelly. So I think we're all fine with that as a matter of our information and for the group's information. Bill, if you want to talk about items 1, 2, and 3, I think that will be good. But before you do, I would like to, again, just brief the group on the very latest news, as I have for the last several months, on what's happening with federal intervention with pandemic relief out of Washington. If you got the newspaper this morning, you saw the latest on that. It looks like they are closing in on a deal of approximately $900 billion, which will include an extension of unemployment benefits, some individual payments, which was a last-minute add, and importantly for us, that package will exclude aid to state and municipal governments, and will exclude the liability shield for corporations that the Senate had been arguing for. So what they basically did, in case you haven't kept up on this, is they said, all right, let's take a look at what everybody agrees on, and we'll put it in this package, about $900 billion. If we have disagreement over big elements, the Senate doesn't want state and local aid. The House is balking at liability shield for businesses, unless it's part of the more comprehensive package. Then we're going to take those elements and put them aside, and presumably, but by no means certainly, revisit them in the new year. And by the new year, I mean after the presidential inauguration. So the comments from the Biden campaign or administration was, this will be something they get back to and take up in late January, February, but it probably won't see legislation until, who knows, February, March. I do feel from the tone of things that there will be a second round. No one feels that a $900 billion infusion is enough to get the economy humming again, or to solve, in particular, the state and local budget crunch problems that we're having. So this is, I think, generally some good news for the country individually, for individual families and people, but it's not good for state and local governments and those such as SUNY Erie who depend on those entities. We're not yet in line for relief. So, Len, I don't know if you want to comment from your veteran political perspective on this before we move
No, Jeff,
on.
I think you've summed it up pretty well. Obviously, they're going to do everything they can to stimulate the economy outside of doing the state and local government piece, which I agree with you. I think Biden will make that a focus. We're unsure when that'll happen, but it seems like this hope is beginning to become a little more clear. And it's been a long haul, but Jeff, I think you did a great job of analyzing it. And I think we just have to keep our fingers crossed for the new year to get some relief for the state and local governments.
All right, and as I always say, everyone on this call is an opinion leader in the community in one way or another, and in your own constituencies. And to the extent you have an opportunity to keep the notion of state and local relief front and center with policymakers, take every opportunity, please, to do so, because it certainly will benefit the college if the state feels some relief, if the county feels some relief. There is some direct educational funding in this bill. I don't know the details of that. There's some CARES Act and vaccination funding. So it's possible that there is some sort of disguised local and state relief in this package. It's not characterized as money for states and localities. directly or operational relief. It's really characterized under specific headings like hospitals, education, vaccination, immediate emergency needs, and so forth. But those are real dollars, and that should help a little bit. But at this point, I think we're still drumming our fingers and hoping for something in the first quarter of the new year. So we'll leave it there and turn it to Bill for if you want to make any comment on the county executive item, but certainly the dashboard items in our financial picture. And while you're at it, if you want to bring enrollment into it, you can, or defer that until your report if you'd like at the end.
Certainly. Thank you, Jeff. Page 88, the college and the county operate on two different fiscal years. The college is a 9/1 to 8/31 fiscal year. The county is a calendar year fiscal year. So every year when the county executive submits his budget, they include the appropriation for our following fiscal year. So the county budget process is just winding down. The county executive has to release by October 15th. The legislature has a period of time to make any changes. Depending upon the changes, the county executive can veto. The county executive accepted all the adjustments made by the legislature. So in all intents and purposes, there is a county budget in place. Our inclusion in the county budget is all of 3 pages long. So I actually made a copy of what's from the county budget. If you look at page 90 in the board agenda, this really talks the dollars and cents. And what I wanted to highlight, there's 2 items under appropriations, a $7,243,000 number. That represents the amount of chargebacks paid out by Erie County. And then the 18 million amount is our direct subsidy that under normal terms we get on or before April 15th. And then the revenues they reflect for the community colleges is what the county actually bills back to the municipalities for the chargebacks. Last year, the county executive actually reduced that amount by $4.4 million, actually saving money for the local municipalities as part of chargebacks. So again, this is the only 3 pages included in the county budget. I'm going to talk fast because I have to jump off at 9:30. The fiscal year as of November 30th can be found on page 91, and we are in line with everything right now. We had budgeted a 20% reduction in state aid, so we are in line. We only received the first quarterly payment. We should get our second quarterly payment from the state in January once all the annual reports are received. We are looking at opportunities to save additional costs. We focus on obviously personnel, but IT, Scott Irmer and Joe Lundeen and the staff are looking at ways, and Joel Dominani, ways to save on our copier costs. So we're trying to execute a new agreement with Toshiba to save college approximately $27,000. Katrina's looking at the NFTA contract to see if we can save some costs. So we will continue to look at opportunities to save costs. And then on page 93 is the August 31st numbers, reflecting a $11.3 million deficit for the fiscal year that ended August 31st. Included in that number is we drew down about $1.5 million of institutional cares. We fully expended the full $3,997,000 of student cares. And part of this number, why it's so large, is we actually did not record bad debt expense last year for some reason. And so this year we had to actually take a hit of $2.4 million because when you bill students, you don't always collect 100% of those student receivables. So I'm not sure the thinking last year, but it's required under generally accepted accounting principles that you match the expense with the revenue. So we are going to record a $2.4 million expense. The college exceeded its personnel by over $5 million last year. So we had budgeted $59 million for personnel costs. Actually expended was $64 million. Thus, the impetus behind the early retirement incentive, the need for layoffs, and the impetus for the retirement incentive for the year that is, or as of this end of this semester. So that's a quick summary, Jeff, on both the county budget, the fiscal year 11/30 as well as 8/31. The auditors have started the audit process. we have to finalize the audit and submit it to SUNY before we get the annual report completed and we get that second quarterly payment. I'm not sure if there's any questions. I will cover enrollment as part of the president's report.
Right. And just a quick question, Bill, on the amount of chargeback paid of the $7,243,000 paid for the county, that counts toward their maintenance of effort obligation?
No, nope, it does not, Jeff.
Okay.
No, the only thing that goes into maintenance effort is their direct subsidy.
Okay.
If you look at local share, it's maintenance of effort, it's at direct subsidy plus any chargeback revenues we receive, not paid out, what we receive, that's local share. That cost to the county, that 7 million, does not show up anywhere on our books other than we lose students to other community colleges. So it does have an effect on us, but that amount does not show up anywhere on our financials.
Right. And thanks. So we've talked about chargebacks a few times and appreciate covering that whenever you can. It is important, obviously. Any other questions from either trustees or other folks on the call about the board informational items listed 1 through 7 there?
I don't have any questions, but Jeff, just for the record, I am excusing myself from the meeting. I'm yielding my report time to the student trustee and college senate report.
All right. Thank you, and we'll welcome you back as soon as you're available. All right. I think we're prepared then to move on past, unless I hear other questions, past those informational items. If anyone has particular questions for Bill based on the financial information he just gave or will give under his president's report, we'll have that opportunity when he comes back. As for the Policy and Governance Committee, yes, Kate is absent from this meeting, and we will pass over that item unless anyone has something to report that I'm not aware of until Kate comes back. All right. And as far as report of the chair, Denise may have additional comments, but I'll say a couple of things about item 5A, the Board of Trustees bylaws. What we have in our package is an array of changes to the Board of Trustee bylaws designed to deal with this, primarily with this committee of a whole concept that we have. And again, to tell the group why we're doing that briefly, it's just to avoid a series of multiple committee meetings that all the folks at the college have to attend. And we thought if we could get everything together, hear our reports, move things along, and maybe shorten the board meetings a little bit, we'd have longer committee of the whole meetings, but at least there'd only be one for those of you on the call who make it a regular practice to join us for all the meetings. Hopefully this will be better. We'll see how we feel about it in a few months, but this is what we're going to try for a little while. The Board of Trustee bylaws are fine as far as I am concerned. I read them, but I do want to do some work on the part where we talk about the committee of the whole, because there's still a little uncertainty or lack of clarity, I think, with respect to just exactly how the committee of the whole relates to certain ad hoc and standing committees that, you know, may still have some function. I think I want to think about that and talk to the leadership team, you know, among the trustees as well, about how we want to handle that, work on that language a little bit. So what I'll recommend here is on item 5A1 is that we table any adoption of the Board of Trustee bylaws as circulated until we have a chance to work on them for another month. Are there any objections to that approach? Hearing none, we'll table that, Kelly, till next month. And then just make a note that we will work on it in the meantime. If you can send to me, Kelly, in Word, the Board of Trustee documents, or at least the section on the committees, that's what I want to spend some time working on, please. Okay. As for the committee of the whole meeting schedule on page 120, I think we can all just take note of that. And as I said, for at least several months, we can assume that'll be our plan. If any changes come, we'll let everybody know. But I think so far we feel pretty good about this idea. So people can take note and make those changes in your calendars as to when we'll have meetings of the committee of the whole. And hopefully that'll be less burden for the administration team. With Denise off the call right now, I'll turn to Len on item 5B, the Ad Hoc Committee Reports Presidential Search Committee. for an update for the group on where we are, what the next steps look like, and how we feel about what's happening.
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. Denise and I both attended virtually the legislative committee meeting, which was actually 2 weeks from today. And we just discussed the resolution for the search firm to get that approved. There was a little discussion on that. So the debate was, should we approve it immediately or should we send it to committee for a week for discussion, which they did. Excuse me. And that is why Denise is now off our meeting and at the legislative meeting where they're discussing again the final approval of that resolution, which will fund the search firm that we selected. I think today is going to be routine. I think they probably just want to go over some more information, but the passage of that resolution today, which is the last legislative meeting before the new year, will allow us to proceed with our search. As you know, we appointed a search firm last fall, went through some very, very good racial and inclusion diversity training with the entire committee, but we really can't get started until the firm is in place and fully funded, and or the account for to pay for the firm is fully funded and accounted for, and that'll take place today. So the bottom line, Jeff and member of the rest of the trustees, is that we'll be ready to start moving right after the new year begins on the search. So I think that's pretty much where we are. I think Denise will report when she gets back. There's not going to be any problems with the approval of the search firm today, and so we look forward to working with them and getting their advice and counsel on how to best proceed. And of course, at some point, they will provide us with a list of names to interview and discuss. We think this is going to be, minimally a 6-month process from where we are right now. And so, I think everything's in place. There's a lot involved in this. There's a lot of mechanics in the funding, and that the amount of the contract is more than we ourselves as a board can approve. So that's why we need the legislative approval. We can approve contracts up to $50,000, but this one is going to be probably in the 80s, 70s, or 80s. Although we're going to get some relief, some savings from the fact that because of COVID, there's not going to be the extensive travel. At some point, we'll be having people here on the ground, but for the most part, for the first few months, it'll be a virtual search, and that'll save us some money in the end. So, if there's any questions, glad to take them. Yeah.
We as a reminder, we looked at I think 7 firms responded to our RFP, and we took a very hard look at 3 of them. Right. And as a group, we were very, very enthusiastic about this particular firm that we're in the process of retaining. We're a 9-figure organization. We need a really strong group of candidates from whom to select the next president. I'm very enthusiastic about the makeup of the search committee. Many of you on the call are on the committee. If you're not, you're close to someone who is. And I really hope that we can have a very good, open, transparent, and informed dialogue about what the college needs in the next president and who exactly that person should be. So it's a terrific group. I'm very much looking forward to the first quarter of the new year when the whole group gets together and we start operating with the search firm and finding the next president of the college. So, all right. If there are any questions on that matter, the presidential search or anything else so far? Hearing none, I'll move on to Travis, please, for the student trustee report.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Hello, everyone. So I'd like to start off with, we're concluding here with the semester, so I would like to give a big thank you out to all the administrators and faculty for the semester, and having to work a full semester here with the remote modality that we're in and the struggles that we've all had to endure. To kind of give you an update on some of the SGA items that we're working on right now, obviously one of the big things that we are in charge of is engagement with the students and being a voice of the students. So obviously right now we're working on different ways for outreach and increasing communication with our students, because obviously most of our students are remote, with about 80% of them are learning remotely. Right now, the SGA is all working on spring programming. So planning events for the upcoming semester and the rest of the year. So that's one of the big concerns that we're working on right now. One thing when talking about student engagement that we started over the summer, kind of give a shout out to Christy Vigilant, who's a project coordinator at South Campus, for spearheading this. But we started something called esports, which is done through SUNY. And so we have our own team for SUNY Erie that competes against other schools. So that has been one of the biggest avenues that we've been able to engage a lot of the students here remotely, because I know a lot of students like to play games and compete. So it was something that has been very successful in its first season, and we're moving into its second season here. So that is exciting to add something during this time. One of the big agenda items, I guess, for the rest of the year here is hopefully adding some more visibility to mental health. Some of the mental health services that we have, and visibility to services that are available to students. So right now we're doing a lot of research on how some of the other institutions are handling this, and working with some of the departments such as student access here at our own school, to really highlight some of the visibility, because obviously with the pandemic and changes to how we learn, and the stressors that we have in our life during this time, mental health is a big issue, and we want to make sure that our students have some type of services that are available to them. And I think besides that, I mean, those are some of the main action items that we're working on right now, as far as communication and mental health. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about that, but that's all I have to report. You're muted, Jeff.
Eventually learn to do that, right? I saw an article in today's paper, Travis, and thanks for your report. The headline was today's students deferring college, amid pandemic, essentially. And I wondered if you could just talk a little bit about that, thinking about your friends and maybe those just a little younger than you, not quite ready for college, that may be in your world. What do you sense about that? Does that seem to strike you as correct? Are people just saying, look, I'm just checking out until this thing gets settled? Mm-hmm. Or what are you hearing among people your age and younger?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard both sides. I mean, with deferring college, I mean, again, with the remote modality that we're in, I do hear some people talking about not wanting to go to school and learn remote, because obviously there's some challenges with that. A lot of students like to learn face to face. I know in certain situations I do too. So some classes I'm okay with, but and I mean that is something that I think a lot of students have voiced, that there are challenges with that, and maybe there are some deferment. And I know another thing too is just with tuition and the cost of college. A lot of students are a little hesitant on going back or going to school. I mean, those are some of the key items that I hear about.
Have you noted, and I think my question to Travis can go to others on the call who will be reporting. I'm Colleen is with students every day and others, for example. But have you heard along the lines of, I've got small children in school, Buffalo, for example, is doing complete remote learning, at least until February at the moment. I don't have childcare arrangements. I really can't be in a community college right now until I get this, at least the education for my children settled out. You know, we have many students who are parents of school-age children. So
that has been something that I do hear. I mean, I'm obviously in the nursing program, so we do have a lot of students who have children, and you know, I do hear some of the struggles that some of the parents do have, especially with some of the flexibility that we have with different having to come to school or different kind of exams and having to flex clinicals and all that, and finding childcare. There had been some issues, but I mean, obviously, it's a big concern with some of the mothers and fathers and people who have children.
Okay, well, we're a large community of the college's leadership right here on this call. So, if anyone has a comment based on anything Travis has just said or the question I asked, please go ahead and inform the group as you bring your report forward. Travis, are you all set?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Sure.
He'll remain on the call in case anything pops into someone's head and they want to come back to Travis. But in the meantime, let's move on, please, to our College Senate report. Colleen Quinn, Chair. And I would like to just, by thanking Colleen, by extension, thank everyone in the college for what we all know is a continuing difficult situation. And everyone has been great about pitching in and helping and trying to be cooperative. You know, we feel that and we appreciate that. So, Colleen?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Trustee Stone. And Travis, I want to say that your report touching on the mental health of our students is a huge issue that our faculty has been working on. We had a day of sharing that was co-sponsored by the College Senate as well as our Center for Professional Development. It was actually right after the meeting of the whole. And with that, it was a casual day for faculty and staff to get together and just discuss different things that we would normally, water cooler type of talk, or we would see each other in offices and all of that. And one of the things that we were made aware of is that our Student Access Center, and through one of our counselors, Fran Moyer, they have some interns for that are social worker interns. And they are doing circles now on Wednesdays for any students, and they can log in, and it's very similar to this. You just kind of pop in, and there's counselors, there's social workers available, and it's every Wednesday. And of course, the last one was yesterday, but they're going to be doing it throughout next semester as well. And I was sorry that we didn't hear about it until December 4th, but what an awesome opportunity for our students. One of our faculty members, Carl Stokes, is also involved with it, and our social workers are also, if a faculty member wants to do a circle for their students throughout the day, they're arranging those things. So I think Fran would be a fantastic resource for SGA to reach out to help with some of those aspects. And with the mental health, that was also something that I've been trying to focus on as well for our faculty and staff, because there are so many people that are struggling, and where they feel that they are struggling alone, or I get all the time like, well, this person has children in this position, or they're teaching, and there's a lot of comparing back and forth, and I'm struggling, but how is this person not struggling? And then we were all talking, we're like, well, actually, no, we're all struggling. It's just, you put some lipstick on and smile, and you just make it look good. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of sharing with that, as well as resources that we could all help each other. In our employee assistance program, it has been a huge helpful tool for our faculty and staff, that many weren't really aware of all the different things that you could work with through that, because I feel like there's sometimes a stigma with reaching out through something through your place of employment, that, well, if I'm having an issue and I go through the EAP, then maybe work might know that I'm having an issue, when that's not actually the case. So our day of sharing had a lot of education pieces, specifically for mental health for ourselves as employees of the college, but also for our students. You know, what are we doing for them and how can we reach out with that? And so we've been working with our deans of students as well to make sure that not only are the students told what's available, but that the faculty and staff are also informed so that if we are talking with the student and they mention one thing or another, we know the resources that we can hand them if in case they missed the email or anything like that. So that was one of the fantastic things with that. Our actual Senate meeting earlier this month was really just closing out a lot of 2020 old business, but we are now looking forward to the spring semester, even though we still have a week left of the fall semester, and everybody right now is in what I like to call grading jail, papers and tests and all of that. That's what I plan on doing the rest of the day. I'm going to hunker down and get my heated blanket and get to town grading. But looking forward to the spring semester. SUNY had a student satisfaction survey that went out all across SUNY, and we were able to get the data. I got it last Friday. Well, I got the actual data Tuesday, but got to see some of the results of it on Friday with the student satisfaction feedback about all aspects of the semester with going to college while during COVID and all of that. So one of the things that we're doing is a qualitative analysis of the student comments and how we can take those comments and learn from them. Because one of the things that we've noticed, and I think I've said this about 4 times in meetings, and so forgive me those of you that have heard us already, but one of the things as a faculty member is you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, right? So with this pandemic, we've really been just kind of thrown, into the fire, figure out how to teach your students. And so now that we're moving into the 3rd semester of remote learning, now we can take the feedback from the students and try and learn how to do a better job for them, but also how to work more together with each other. So we are working through that, and we're going to be developing sandboxes so that we can work with faculty peer-to-peer with how to improve some of our remote courses. Because as a faculty member, I have some pretty fantastic, believe it or not, statistics lessons. I know it's a dry subject, but how do I get my really awesome lesson that comes across fantastic face-to-face done remotely, right? Like there's all these active things that I do in person. So how do we do that in this forum right here that we have? So, and it's very difficult to do. So that's one of the things we'll be working on opening day, and College Senate, along with our Center for Professional Development, are going to be doing monthly sharing days through the spring semester so that we can work together and improve our courses for each other and for our students. A couple of other initiatives that we've been working with is with our enrollment and with Phil Strubel's office with getting out communication through our courses for our winter intersessions and for our spring intersessions. One of our faculty members from the English department, Chris Polinsky, and then Jason Stein is from social science, and myself, we've been working on language to send out to the students like, hey, this is winter intercessions, and tell your friends, by the way, because one of the things with winter intercession is students don't realize that spring loans and aid cover the winter intercession. And actually that was something that I didn't realize either until we started doing this type of communication out to our students. So that has helped to increase our enrollment for winter. And then we are also working by sending out that information to our courses for our spring enrollment as well, because, we're all in this together. So all good things
are ahead of a year ago. To give you the winter intercession stuff has worked. The numbers for winter are over 2020. So thank you.
Oh, that's awesome, Phil. Great. Thank you. Woohoo. Yeah, and and that was the things we're opening up our courses, and if I open my course, if people see that I have the entire winter intercession thing as the first thing my students see, then other people are doing the same. So we've been definitely working together and working with our different administrative departments to make sure that we help our students and get everything up and going for our spring semester for everybody. So the Senate does not meet again until February, but we will be working in the side throughout winter and January until then. So if you need anything, I'm always going to be around and working on different activities to help promote the college and help our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Always a good report. And I would like to say a word or two here about something that Denise has added to our agenda, and that is bargaining unit reports. And very glad to welcome today our friends Andy Sacco and Maureen Doyle, who lead our two largest bargaining units at the college. And it's been great getting to know them. When I joined the board of trustees, reacquaint with Maureen and Andy. And it's really nice to see your names on the agenda. For that, I want to give complete credit to Denise Wilson, who, when she became chairwoman a month or two ago, she said in no uncertain terms to all of us in the community, she wants to lead in a transparent and engaged and connected way, hearing from all the constituencies at the college and trying to be responsive, at least by way of listening and understanding concerns that anyone may have in the college community. And toward that end, she said, I would like to have Andy and Maureen come and talk to us about the I am glad to see them on the agenda. So while Denise is not here, and I'm sure she would be very interested in hearing these remarks, I think just in the interest of time, I'd like to turn it over, it looks like first to Andy, and welcome both Andy and Maureen here as formal participants in our trustees meeting, and hear from them on what they have to say. So Andy, go ahead.
Thank you.
And the fellow board members for giving us this opportunity to speak to you today, on behalf of our members. Transparency is something that I think is most important as we look forward to search and the future of Erie Community College and trying to work together. I think that's the most important thing that we can take away from this pandemic and all the other things that have occurred in the past year. My members and I realize that this has been a very challenging year, especially for our students and, for us as well. And, we just understand that the college has financial issues, and it's due to the pandemic as well, enrollment. And one of the things that we have decided to do is reach out to Interim President Bruder and Chairwoman Denise about some initiatives, 7-week semesters, things of that nature. Also, some ideas on marketing. We put together a couple of videos just to try it out and see what our members could come together with. And we did 2 videos. One was the FFECC and its members are here for you. And the second one, which just came out, and Colleen is one of our main
Andy, you're cutting a little bit in and out in the last 10 or 12 seconds.
individuals in this to show the board, if the board would like to take a moment. It's a 60-second video, and our belief is that enrollment will cure many of the issues that we have here. So with that said, I'm hoping Bob can bring that video up.
By all means, love the first video.
Oh, thank you.
About a month or two ago, it was terrific.
Start smart, start safe, start here at SUNY Erie Community College. Today's college experience is unlike ever before. At Erie Community College, our Faculty Federation has created a positive academic experience with remote classes and supportive faculty and staff. Students can earn credits that seamlessly transfer to any SUNY college and are accepted at most private colleges and universities at a fraction of the cost. Start smart, start safe, start here. Go anywhere. Go to ecc.edu for more information.
Quick and effective. Welcome back.
For
Chair.
this opportunity today.
Oh, just quickly welcoming back Chairwoman Wilson
To this
and Interim
opportunity
President
today.
Reuter. I think you're there. Yep. Andy,
Okay.
thank you for presenting. Bill and Denise, we just heard, we heard Travis's report and Colleen's report, and Andy just spent some time talking to us about his members' engagement and the focus on enrollment and trying to help us with that, which certainly everyone on the call appreciates. The first video was terrific. Whoever's making those is doing some pretty good work. And I remember I saw Andy, I think Maureen was on that. So very, very good. So Andy just finished. He was a little bit intermittent at times. Does anyone have questions for Andy or comments about the video or anything else before I move on to Maureen Doyle? If not, I just say thanks again, Andy. More will be coming, and we appreciate your personal engagement and the engagement of your members in helping us tackle the problems we're all contending with. So very, very appreciative of your degree of engagement and care. Maureen, can you help us?
Thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
Hear from you as well. Maureen Doyle.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do a special thank you to Chairwoman Denise Wilson for including the union presidents in this and the membership, so we can be informed and know what's going on at the college. And we also can have a voice here and give you any information or answer any questions that anyone who's on the board may have regarding the unions or anything that's going on at the college that maybe we could give you a little more information on. We're really happy that we're able to be involved in the discussions at this critical time in the college's history. You need to have the unions involved. We're the rank and file members who have worked here for years. So we have a lot of information and we have a lot of knowledge that we can bring to the table to help the college succeed. So, and we also, we appreciate Interim President Reuter's open and honest approach and his transparency he has had with dealing with us in issues and addressing operational issues and also concerns of union members and any concerns I've had with my union members. Anything that I brought to him or talked to him about, he's always very honest and open, and we're very happy about that. He has excellent expertise in the finances and also knowledge of local government officials. And I think right now at this critical time with the college, we need to have a really good relationship with the Erie County Legislature. And we also need to have someone that has a lot of financial experience with what we're dealing with now. Last week, we were in a meeting with the legislature and Chairwoman Denise and also Interim President Bill Reuter was there, and we discussed how enrollment is down 28%. That was last week. So we have a lot of work ahead of us with enrollment being down 28%. So I think probably one of the main things I would like to emphasize on is I think we need to have a clear and concise plan of how my union members are going to be going back to campus and the safety issues. But I think there's a little bit of confusion about, going back to work and telecommuting and that type of thing that's going on here at the college. But hopefully we'll be able to work it out. We do need a concise and clear plan. And we need to get back to work because enrollment is 28% down, and we all have to pitch in and start concentrating on pulling enrollment up. So that's actually for now. I didn't realize I was had to discuss a lot of things within the union. I just wanted to thank you for Chairwoman Denise for letting me be included and to be part of the solution for the college. So I'm looking forward to working with you.
Well, that is a perfect little break spot. Maureen, thanks for your remarks. Denise, I'm coming right back to you here with your return.
Thank you.
But before I do, I just wanted to comment and say that, both Andy and Maureen, when I came to learn that they were the heads of the bargaining units, our unions at the college, our two biggest ones, it made me happy because I said, these are folks who are smart and know what they're doing, and they are very attuned to the local political scene. They are a couple of the more astute members and observers in that scene and participants. And as someone who's been on the fringes of that for many years myself, I appreciate knowing them and knowing how experienced they both are in very important governance matters in our area. And we can't think that we operate in a vacuum. We don't. Maureen's remarks highlighted that. It's very important that we have a great relationship with the county, and beyond that with the SUNY system and the state and everyone else who partners with us. So very important, I think, to have Andy and Maureen in place right now. We on the Board of Trustees are very grateful for the very cooperative and helpful attitude that both Andy and Maureen and, of course, their members have brought to this. Most embodied, I would say right now, by what Maureen said about her support and Andy's support for Bill Reuter. I mean, we have a interim president now, and I'm glad that we have someone who is very experienced with the college, who's very experienced with the local political scene, the county legislature, the county controller's office, the administration in the RAF building, local political units. There's very little that Bill Reuter hasn't been involved with over the years. And right now that experience is extremely helpful to us as we face the greatest challenges that the college has ever faced. And so to know that we have, and Bill has, the support of the leadership of our two largest bargaining units is very, very helpful and should be comforting to everyone on this call. Denise, I'll turn it back over to you now, but I did my best to sort of paraphrase what your vision was in asking Andy and Maureen to come to the meeting and be part of our discussions in a formal way going forward. But rather than letting my remarks suffice, why don't you talk a little bit about your thinking in that idea, and then go ahead and take over the meeting again, please.
Thank you, Vice Chair Stone. I think you said it great. as always, you summed it up. I think the only thing I will just add and probably echo is it is my belief that the only way we can move forward is for a very high level of cooperation, communication, transparency, and trust. And you cannot have any of those when working in silos. At some point, as Maureen mentioned, we have, she mentioned we had, 28%, Bill mentioned 28% decline in enrollment right now. There is no way that we can achieve our goals if we do not include everyone from the, part-time clerical staff, to our environmental engineers. Everyone up to the board needs to have a seat, I believe, and a voice at the table, because it's really, in my view, like the inner workings of a clock. All of the turning pieces, all of the little cogs are very essential to informing decisions that Bill and the Board of Trustees have to make. So, I'm big on checking titles, checking, I've been here, 50 years, and you have to check all of that at the door in order to move forward. And I am just grateful that I am given the opportunity to say, come on and please share. So I look forward. I'm sad I missed the first report, but I look forward to our subsequent conversations and you guys' reports out. So thank you for being here.
Hey, Bob, could you pull up, just so Denise and Bill can see it, just show us that spot again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. You're testing Bob right now, Jeff. You're testing him. The smoke's coming out of his ears over there. He's not
Leave
laughing.
my union member alone, Bill.
Oh.
On a really quick basis.
Start smart, start safe, start here at SUNY Erie Community College. Today's college experience is unlike ever before. At Erie Community College, our faculty federation has created a positive academic experience with remote classes and supportive faculty and staff. Students can earn credits that seamlessly transfer to any SUNY college and are accepted at most private colleges and universities at a fraction of the cost. Start smart, start safe, start here. Go anywhere. Go to ecc.edu for more information.
In that commercial.
That's awesome. I don't know if I saw that on social media, but if it is, I am sharing. I am sharing. Those are the commercials we need to see, right? I feel like on our on broadcasting and what have you. Colleges, I'll leave it there, but we have time in our committee of the whole to talk about marketing, and so I'll share with some of my ideas there. But definitely on my social media, I will share that, and also with all the students that I work with, I will share that. So thank you so much for putting that together.
If you could send out, Andy or Bob, a link to that, just to the group here, so we can easily click on it and just forward it on or look at it again. I thought it was great. And I
Yep.
liked the first one a month ago too. But these are the type of hard-hitting, quick things. You don't lose people's attention with those, but you got a lot of information across in a short spot. It was good.
So let me ask a question. This again was made from people internally, right? Our own equipment, we didn't outsource
Yes.
any of this, correct?
Yes.
That's this just again reinforces what I said. It's gonna be all hands on deck. Everybody just jumping in, what skill do you have? What skill do you have? Let's get this done. And that is just another testament of just the quality that the college can and have done in the past. So congratulations and kudos. Okay. So I'll just quickly go into my report. And there are just my updates of the BOT bylaws, which is the red light version for proposed changes. And also the committee of the whole 2021 schedule. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
Denise, while you were gone, we talked about the Board of Trustees
Okay.
minute. And the concept of it was they look good, but there's some changes made to reflect the committee on the whole notion being built into it.
Okay.
And I suggested, and everyone agreed, that we table it for a month to take a look at the language in the committee piece. And Kelly's sending it over to me and to all the trustees so we can all focus on that particular piece of language and just tighten it up, because I looked at it last night and I thought, I'm not sure exactly the relationship between the committee on the whole and the ad hocs and the standings now. And I just think that with college leadership, we should spend a little while tightening that up.
Okay.
And Bill had asked me about that yesterday. So that's where we left that particular one. And then let's see, what was the other thing?
Jeff, if I could just jump in on the bylaws.
Yep.
By your own bylaws, you should not be entertaining this anyway today. It's supposed to sit for a month. So
Oh, good. Okay.
This
Okay.
was just to get it on record so you could entertain a motion to approve next month. The bulk of the changes are by virtue of going to a committee of the whole structure. But as I mentioned on page 117, there are two other changes. One is a clarification on what contracts are approved by the president. Again, I'm not looking for approval or anything. I'm just raising it. So on page 117, I've made two red line versions or changes. The second on page 117 refers to putting the authority back to the Board of Trustees for approving senior executive level non-union positions, because right now the president has the full authority to approve all positions at the college, and I believe the Board of Trustees should have a authority and responsibility for senior executive staff appointments. So those were my only two outside the committee of the whole changes that I put in there. Again, this is me reading the bylaws, not asking you to approve or anything, just I wanted to highlight those items.
Okay, so the clock ticks for 30 days and we can do a little work in the interim. That's good.
Absolutely.
In the interest of the transparency that Denise has been fostering, I will tell you and the group that one thing I'm interested in building into those bylaws is the requirement that when the president puts together the annual report about the state of the college, that we rigidly adhere to that, first of all, and that secondly, it be delivered in some sort of a public forum. That's to be figured out exactly what forum is right for that. But in thinking about that, many of us have attended, say, Byron Brown's mayoral pronouncements about the state of the city, Mark Polenkar's State of the County address over at the convention center each year. And I think we would all benefit by hearing directly from the president, both our interim and eventually permanent, about the state of the college in a very formal, regular way that gets everybody on the same page. We'll have to figure out the right time of year, the right forum, but I would like to build that into the bylaws so we don't lose sight of that. Subject to everybody else's thoughts, but I know
I
we've
think
talked
that's a
about
great idea. We've definitely talked about that in the past, and a way to keep that standing for, leadership to come is to include that in the bylaws. To Bill's point, I think that is another great addition to the bylaws for board's approval of and oversight of SES, and it also keeps us in line with the OSC recommendations from a few years back.
And if you don't like that idea, it was my idea. If you do like it, I will admit I stole it 100% from Len Lanahan. So
Great idea, Jeff.
Thank you, immediate past chair Lanahan and vice chair Stone.
Can I
So
just make just a comment on that. I just think it would be great if the community became aware that at a certain time each year, the president of the Erie Community College is going to just update the community on what's going on at the college, what our vision is for the future, and do it at a time when the focus is on the college and not other things. I just think it's a great opportunity to bring people in and get more people involved, and most importantly, let the community know that Erie Community College is on top of things. We're moving forward. We've got an action plan, and we want the students to consider us before going elsewhere.
absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, so these are just for our information at this point. No action will be taken. Regarding the presidential search, it also leads me to my next business. I'm going to have to throw a monkey wrench into our agenda once more. I am getting calls and text messages that we may need to go into executive session earlier after this report, and then come back out and hear from our the report of the interim president to discuss go into executive session to discuss personnel matters, and then come back out to finish the work of the board. And so I asked that after my report, I'll be asking for a motion to go into executive session. Okay. So regarding the presidential search, I just want to say that, and I need the record to reflect that the Board of Trustees have been working very hard and diligently to ensure that we have all of our processes in place, and that the correct search firm was selected. The search firm, excuse me, that submitted a RFP. We interviewed 3 of the 7, and we unanimously selected one of the search firms to go for approval to the Erie County legislators, because of course they will have to approve the contract. I want to take this opportunity to say that there is in no way that this process is being rushed or expedited for any reason. I want to go on record to say that there is no reason that we are trying to bring someone in and to lead our college in a hastily fashion. What interim Bill is doing for us is necessary. He is helping to clean a lot up. He is helping to write our college on a path to make it, I would say, attractive to an incoming president. And we are grateful for him, and we are thankful for him, and we will have him here to continue the work that he is doing for as long as we are able to. There will also be overlap of the new president with interim President Reuter. So I know that I just want to address any chatter, rumors, anything in our college community. Please trust that myself and the rest of the trustees are taking this process very seriously. As someone says, this is our chance to get this right, to hit this home run, and we intend to do so. There is the search committee, for those of you who do not know, we have over 27 individuals consisting of board, county, community, and college individuals that will serve on a search committee and vet each candidate that is presented to us. I will say here, and I will say anywhere, that if I am not or the committee is not certain that we received a great pool of candidates to choose from, we will send that slate back, and we will ask for another slate. And this process will continue until we have the right fit for SUNY Erie ECC College. And if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the search process or the search status, and if you feel that we have not been clear, please reach out to myself or my chair, co-chair, Media Press President Lynn Linehan, to get any updates. Okay? Okay. So with that being said, the one last thing in my report, I attended a great event that the college hosted. Patrina Hill Cheatham, Dean Jamie Smith, and our foundation trustee, Judge Lenora Foote Beavers, hosted a virtual sip and
I don't even know what it's called, but we learned how to make holiday drinks virtually. And it was a fundraiser to help support students who need hotspots and mobile devices. We know that the digital divide is real, and it is severely impacting many students that we serve from low income communities. And also, um, I would say our ESL community is struggling with this digital divide. So we wanted to make sure that we currently have, I think, 46 or 47 hotspots out. We want to make sure that each of those students are able to retain their hotspots, and possibly if we are able to get more. Judge Foot Beavers did give a very generous donation in which I have asked President Bill Reuter to help me in ensuring that the Board of Trustees match that donation. And he has done so. So I am excited about that. It was a great event. They did a great job. It was very unconventional for I know a fundraiser for the college, but these are indeed unconventional times. So I want to thank everyone who participated. I want to thank every one who donated. And perhaps if you were not able to donate and you would still like to donate, it goes to a great cause. So that's the end of my report. And at this time, I would like to have a motion to go into executive session for personnel discussions.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much, and I will see most of you back shortly for the president's report and the adjournment of our meeting.
This shouldn't be long.
Okay.
All right. Well, as temporary secretary in the absence of Kate, I'll report that the Board of Trustees took up matters in executive session, matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of particular persons. And those were the only topics that we covered during that executive session.
Thank you, Vice Chair Stowe. Okay, so in continuation with our agenda, may we have the report of our president?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. In the interest of time, I think you did jinx us saying that this was going to be a short meeting. So I am going to really cut down on what I want to say. Enrollment, we'll talk more about it during our committee of the whole. We do have a glimmer of good news. Our winter enrollment is actually up 5 FTEs over last year. Spring, not so much. You've heard the reports of that. I will ask Phil Struble to give a full report as part of the committee of the whole in January, but we are working feverishly to address any and all needs. We should be able to get our information out as far as our how our spring classes are going to be delivered. SUNY, we just submitted to SUNY the plan, and they have sent back their approval. We will have, I believe, 115 courses starting January 19th, face-to-face, not obviously every day. And then the full scope of the courses can start face-to-face if needed come February 1st. I mentioned, I believe in a couple emails, we have announced that we will have winter sports. Those winter sports will not start until February 1st, barring any other developments. And most games, competition will not start until March. We are only one of 3 community colleges in the state to go in this direction right now. We are with Niagara County Community College and with Jamestown. Again, it's subject to change, but we made that announcement, so it is on our website. As far as the COVID-19 testing, we've tested 4,423 students and staff through yesterday. Our positivity rate is 0.407%, not 4%, not 40%, 0.407%. First 7 weeks, only 47 faculty and staff tested. In the last 4 weeks, 852 faculty and staff have participated in testing. Yesterday, we actually had more staff tested than students. So it's getting, it's taking hold. People are very interested to make sure that we're ensuring the safety of our students and staff. We continue our county test drive-through on Wednesdays at South Campus. Rapid test site at South is also, that's only for K through 12. That's Monday through Friday. County Health, I believe they are using 8 classrooms at City Campus for contact tracers. And then we are going to be the point of distribution at North and South Campus. We're not sure what it's going to be for, but the county may actually use North to do a test flu vaccine to see that they'll be ready to do any kind of other distribution. And then we continue to ramp up our Campus Clear Act. We have 4,700 students and staff that are registered on Campus Clear. As I mentioned, all the classes other than clinicals and co-ops and internships will be remote, but those courses can start January 19th, again, barring any other unforeseen issues that are going on. As far as quick college updates, we had 2 trustees participate with Tracy Cleveland and myself on a board of trustee onboarding. It was a great discussion, so more to come, I'm sure, from Susan Swartz and Jeff. We continue to look at opportunities to realign our staff, and we are finishing up another retirement incentive. So December 31st, we'll have the next batch of retirees, and this is our last meeting. I'm not sure if PJ is still on the phone, but it's PJ's last meeting. He is participating in the early retirement incentive. So PJ, we've been together for many years, and I appreciate your service, and you've left us in great hands. As far as the foundation, the board approved the foundation operating agreement modifications in November. In December last week, the foundation board met and they approved it too. So it's in front of Leslie Ortiz Fogg for her approval. And just yesterday, the foundation board announced the hiring of an executive director, an individual named Christopher Muzalowski. Not sure if I'm saying Christopher's last name correctly, but he is starting, and I'm actually meeting with him and Paul Lamana tomorrow. ASC has reported that they have suspended all food service at South Campus. City food service is suspended at City Campus, except for one individual that will be preparing the meals for food service for childcare. And childcare will open in the spring, but it's all demand driven. If there's no demand, obviously it will not be opening. As far as the county updates, a couple was mentioned about the meeting with Kevin Hardwick. Those have been fantastic meetings. I continue to have my monthly meeting with county executive, and that it bared some fruit for the college. He and his administration, county budget, county controllers agreed to help the college in some cash flow needs. They've agreed to accelerate $7 million of our annual operating subsidy from April 15th to January 15th. They also agreed to defer a bill for $3.6 million for retirement from, it was due December, it will be due December 20th. They've deferred that to February 1st, again, to help us in cash flow. And I guess maybe my nagging to the county about county cares, was paid some dividends, because we actually submitted an invoice to the county for accessing county cares, not College Cares Act money, for $846,000. So that was submitted to the county earlier this week. So I remain hopeful that they will provide some help in that regard. Mentioned before, County Attorney Leslie Ortiz Fogg is leaving county service. She's going to Empire State Development. She has been awesome in the 6 months I've been here. She's been nothing short of fantastic. She is still working on a couple items for the college. She is looking at, we have a proposal from KeyBank to do a 5-year no interest cost installment loan in order to buy some network infrastructure necessary at the college. She's reviewing that proposal right now, and we spent quite a bit of time with Leslie on looking at the college purchasing policies, because from what I can glean, we probably have 5 different policies in the board policy manual talking about purchasing. That has caused a lot of frustration and confusion internally, as well as with Leslie, as well as the board, as well as county legislature. So we are trying to get to a point where we have one policy that is comprehensive, that addresses all the nuances of purchasing. I continue to have my every other week Western New York Regional Presidents meeting with Jamestown, Monroe, Niagara, Genesee, and Finger Lakes, and those meetings are very productive because we talk really about issues in our region, the start of classes, the testing, the SUNY, the approval, the breaks, and we're all pretty much in the same line. We've had a few meetings, external meetings. We met again with Stravati Corporation. Jeff Stone, our trustee, brought that company to our attention. They are hoping to be a large manufacturer of airplanes up in Niagara Falls Air Force Base, and they are bringing to the table all the educational partners in Western New York, and that the lead is really Niagara County Community College, Bill Marabito, the president there, but he's bringing to the table all colleges in Western New York, because it could lead to significant employment opportunities for our community. Continue to meet with the Oshai Foundation, and they've been very supportive of some of the areas within the college, and we will continue those meetings. Dean Adiams, a guy, with some faculty, has met with Dennis Elzenbach, with Verdi Parenti. That's a company on East Elvin. They're doing battery-powered electronic motors to see how our current curriculum could fit into their needs for their workforce. And then Adium has met with Buffalo Construction Consultants, who actually was a referral from SUNY trustee Eunice Lewin to the college, looking at some potential curriculum changes to address the construction area of the community. And they've already agreed to have 2 members of that company join our construction and civil advisory board. I have a Community College Business Officers Conference that started yesterday at 12 o'clock and today again at 12 o'clock. And the SUNY Chancellor, Jim Belatris, is addressing us at noontime. We had a NICET meeting on December 3rd. The Chancellor, President NICET, Andy and I. It's a way for all community colleges with all their NICET affiliations to be part of one meeting. It's always been in person. This was a Zoom call. Very productive to see the union and the Chancellor working hand in hand to advance the needs of the community college sector. And then I mentioned last time, we do have a scheduled public hearing. UVille has put in a master plan amendment that they are looking to offer an associate's degree in this area. We are lockstep with Trocaire, the Niagara County Community College, fighting that. So we will be providing testimony in January, trying to prevent them from getting into the associate degree market. Couple quick updates as far as academic affairs, Men in Merit. Katrina and her staff continue to do a great job. We've had a Men in Merit student that was actually hired as a nursing assistant at Roswell, Maad Rashid. He was a past SGA officer and Phi Theta Kappa All USA award winner. And he is a mentee of David Scott, who also mentors several other Men of Merit students. We actually have 3 students from Northland participating in the Men of Merit and 5 middle early college high school students. In regards to middle early college, we actually had 100% of the students from fall that have enrolled for advanced registration for the spring. So all 49 seniors have done advanced registration for spring for the middle early college. EOP, the state announced that 45 students within the state, there's 64 educational institutions, there are 45 students recognized by SUNY for a Educational Opportunity Program Award, and one of our very own students, Norman McConnelly Jr., was the recipient from SUNY Erie. He, the criteria, good standing, on track to graduate, has overcome obstacles, succeeded against odds, earned an academic record that provides evidence of academic excellence and academic trajectory, and excellent leadership, community service, and extracurricular activities. And then the Dean of Students, you stole my thunder, Madam Chairwoman, but Katrina reported that that event that she hosted that Chairwoman Wilson mentioned actually was able to raise $3,789 to support technology needs of our students that are studying remotely during the pandemic. Madam Chair, that concludes my interim president report, and I just want to leave you with, I wish everyone the very safest, healthiest, and happiest of New Year's, and I think all of us can't wait for 2021 to begin.
I second that. Thank you so much, Interim President Reuter, and all of your staff work that you have done to get us through this very, very, very fun and exciting year.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all of the students who have or is working to complete this semester. You did it one semester at a time. So for those of you who still need to register, please do so. And we look forward to next semester. And for those of you who will be graduating with us next semester, we look forward to that too. So push forward, push through, but rest over this winter break. That goes for you, for faculty and staff as well. Rest if you can. Unless I email you, then wake up. No, I'm joking. But with that being said, let's see what. Oh my goodness, my computer. I'm sorry. I think we have heard from everyone. Is there any old business? Any new business? Okay, you have the schedule of next month's meeting being January 28th. I also want to just tell everyone, happy holidays, be safe. Pray or send a prayer, light a candle for someone who is, hurting or suffering or missing a family member during this time. And just rest. Take care of yourself. With that being said,
Madam Chair, was there going to be any statement made publicly from executive session? I'm not sure if something was said when you first came out or not.
Yeah, I think Jeff read the statement. Or did he? Did you not, Jeff? I'm sorry.
Unless I was on mute, but I reported that we met in executive session and spoke and dealt with matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of particular persons and no other business.
Okay.
In my head, I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did
Sorry.
read it, but maybe I was on mute.
Okay, thanks, Bill, for that reminder. Okay, so may I have a motion to adjourn this last meeting of December 2020?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Happy holidays, everyone.
Hey, thanks, everyone.
Holidays, everyone.
All right.
Take care.
I'll make
Holidays, everyone.
Everybody.